All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is our Monday Health Huddle. And if this is your first time tuning in with us, well, definitely welcome. This is something we do each week. And moving forward, we'll continue having something like this each week. But we come together and we are just a community getting healthy and rocking our goals, doing it together. And this is kind of a community event, right, Brad? So we come together, we share victories, and we have a health topic each week. And this week we're week 2 of our focus group, and this week is literally mastering a healthy lifestyle. So what we're going to be talking about today is really like, how do you do it, right? Like, how does that happen? How do you go from being in a place where you want more health in your life to being in a place where health is part of your everyday? Right, Brad? So that's what we're going to talk about today is like, how do we create health? And not just for a season, although we have seasons in our health, how do we create this lasting, vibrant health that's literally part of our day? Not something that we do just 3 times a week, right? When we hit the gym, or just 3 times a day when we eat healthy, because we know we have a completely different philosophy around that. So we're going to be talking about that today and how you just show up and create that. But first off, as we're kind of jumping in, let's celebrate. Last week was week 1, and we talked about bulletproof mindset. So I would love just, if you're on and you were really rocking it this last week or this last season, go ahead and pop in the chat. What's one word or one thought or one concept that you really feel that you've moved forward in around the concept of and the idea of establishing a bulletproof mindset? Because Brad, we really talked a lot last week about that. And so, pop in the chat something that maybe shifted this last week for you, or is shifting as you're really talking about what it takes to create health and to not get sidetracked by kind of all the chatter that happens out there. Brad, anything you want to add to this part?
No, I mean, very little, actually. I'm really excited for this week because this is going to be some more practical application, like building on it. And I'm really excited because these are all the topics, again, picked by you. We're in the middle of 30 days of just focusing on our health. We're practicing it, like practicing what we preach. So learning, but also practicing. And last week's, I know personally, just talking to a lot of people, that it blew their mind, not only in their health journey, but in different areas in their life. So building on the bulletproof mindset, that was like a game changer for some people, like little nuances of it, but also just like oh my gosh, I can't believe I've never worked on establishing a bulletproof type of mindset in my life towards anything, let alone my health. So I feel like that was huge in itself last week.
Awesome. And I'm loving the chats blowing up with people kind of sharing what their victories are from last week and kind of some mind shifts and stuff. And then just real quick, as we are heading into, this is obviously week 2, we are mastering a healthy lifestyle. We're heading into igniting wealth next week, sustainability, and then that video finale. If you're just joining us and you're like, what's that all about? The really cool thing is we are setting you all up to not only make amazing progress in your health and have that be something that you can integrate into your lifestyle and that will be sustainable long term. We're going to literally show you how to make a quick little 3-minute video and have a very good chance at winning some very cool prizes. 10 all expense paid trips to an amazing resort for our big health convention in July. That sounds kind of fun. So we're going to walk you through how to do that towards the end of this. And that's really good.
I wanted to add to that because people had some questions on that. So just to even more, especially if you're just joining us or you didn't quite catch it, we're in the middle of this focus group. We do this to kind of break up the health journey and focus and learn for a season. But simultaneously, our company is offering a incentive. So basically, we have all the opportunities for all coaches, clients to submit a 3-minute video due by June 15th that will get voted on. And the top 10 people voted on their journey will win a all expensive paid trip to Dallas, Texas at the Gaylord Texans. So it's fantastic. So the cool thing is, and really building on top of last week where people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I didn't think about this before. That is what our program teaches people. So literally we're kind of giving you the secret tips that if you integrate this into your video that will help you do at the very end, you have a really good chance of winning. We also have kind of a personal goal. We would love all 10 of those awards won by this group right here, because we also have a little bit of the power. Like between all of our groups, we have about 4,000 or 5,000 people that can vote on this. Like, I feel like we can actually have all 10 of them be from our group. So more information to come, and at the very end, we'll show you how to make the video. But if your mind was blown last week, or you had a big mental shift, these are the kind of things that will go into your video that will make them stand out more than just your weight loss. Because just like I'm sure many of you are learning, it's not just about the weight loss, which is what we're covering today, Dawn, which is actually really exciting.
It is really exciting. Thanks for clarifying that, Brad. So in case anyone had any questions, we're just going to be like building. Each week's going to be building and giving more tools. But what we really want to do is bring it. We want to bring you guys together and give you tangible tips, thought processes, and things like that are going to make you successful at having a real healthy lifestyle. So let's head into week 2.
You know, we should, but I just I'm looking at the chat right here. I'm just blown away by all the different takeaways here. Just like people saying, I'm fueling my body for what I'm asked to do, and there is no struggles or a wagon. I can't fall off a wagon and I can't have struggles. I'm thinking about fueling, being more health conscious, focusing on what I want. Don't guilt trip yourself, accept it and move forward. And you're going to make mistakes. Document your goals, clear on what you want. I mean, literally, I'm just only hitting on a fraction of the things that people are writing down. Like, I think last week spoke to a bunch of people.
I think it did. That's amazing. And Brad, remember I was sharing with you earlier about, I have a client, her name is Pam, and would share this from the rooftops. But she was focusing on an outcome, right? So like, what her takeaway was, the program's bulletproof, right? And kind of winging it or not measuring or maybe things like that wasn't maybe given the outcomes. And you know what? When you take it back to the basics, you focus on what you want and you take it down to just the simple things, it's really bulletproof. So that's awesome. Brad, I love all those takeaways. You guys keep popping those in the chat. As they come to you, pop them in. We are better together. Brad, you look like you're about ready to say something.
Well, there's so many things we cover here, and I think that's the beauty of, like, there's so many different pieces. We learn from each other. That's why we also connect. Like, looking at the chat here, it's reminding me of things that I also knew, but also maybe you never knew or thought of. So it's like there's a culminating effect here by plugging in. So I'm personally excited for this because we're actually talking this week about mastery of a lifestyle. And by that, we mean a health lifestyle, but it really tailors more than just what you eat and losing weight. And that's actually like it's kind of like a flywheel. It all kind of starts to participate together. So, Dawn, I'll pose the question to you as we get started today, because this is the question that most people ask. And the reason why we actually started doing focus groups inside of this is, Dawn, I mean, literally look around this chat. If people could actually visualize the before and afters and know how many lives we've changed, it seems like, I mean, we know that so many people here have made like Biggest Loser type things, like on the news type things, like poster board on magazine in the new year type changes in their life. And people just sit there and ask themselves, like, Dawn, how do I do this? Dawn, how did you lose 45 pounds and keep it off? How did you learn to live a lifestyle? Christy Schuster's on my screen right now. Christy, how did you lose 100 pounds and keep it off and start running and training for a marathon? Like, how do you do these things? Is it just you who is so amazing? I'm sitting here, I'm trying to learn this thing. I've been part of this thing called life for forever, trying to figure out what this is all about. How do you do this stuff? And so that's why we're talking on a lifestyle, because it's really a different shift. And it's kind of a thing that I got personally for myself, Dawn, is no one knows how to think this way because the world makes you think in a diet type of format, a must lose weight, a win or lose kind of way. No one teaches how to really go about this. So tonight we're teaching on mastery of a lifestyle, including all areas of health. So if I was to say, Dawn, how do you do this crazy thing? I feel like I can't do it. Go to town. What do you got for us tonight? Help me build a healthy lifestyle.
I love that you asked me. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about this. So, you know what? I thought about that, and I thought about some questions that people would really, like you said, Brad, what people are asking. How do you do it? What is truly needed? What makes a difference? Why? How are some people doing it? And some people are still kind of going in that pattern. And so I thought about really what we do is coming alongside you and helping you embrace perspective, put it into the perspective of what you want, where you're going, what you're creating, and then getting that with a structure, something that is sustainable and lasting in your life. So I just had to kind of put these pictures up here because, Brad, right, we talk a lot about perspective, right? A lot about how you look at the journey. Are we looking at this as something we are going to do for a month or two to get to a goal and then be done? Or is this the road of life? And are we on a journey to learn how to live healthier in all different aspects. And I would say, so the previous, gonna do it for a month till you can go back to how you were doing things. That's a recipe for disaster, right? That's a recipe for doing things the same way you've always done them, which means probably won't get to where you want to go. Because if we keep doing the same thing, nothing changes. Or really moving into this desire to grow and learn and enjoy the process. And so I had to put Dr. A's Habits of Health book on here because you know what, Brad? One of the single most game-changing things that happened in my life was this book, because this and the companion guide that you see there, this is the structure to assist my perspective in the journey. Because I was tired of losing and gaining the same 10 pounds over and over. I was ready to, so what I got to ask myself was, what am I actually willing to let go of? Not, do I have to add a whole bunch of extra things into my day, into my schedule, and do I need to make this hard? No, because it's really about what is it that I want, and what am I willing to let go of that might be holding me back, and putting in that structure to get there. And you guys, you have everything in your fingertips that you need to create a perspective of health that's long-term, and to follow that up with a structure that's going to help you get there. So I wanted to share what it looks like. So what people think it looks like. So someone may be watching your journey, just going to say, you're on a journey, and you're going to, if you hang with us, if you hang with this process, you stay in this community, you embrace this philosophy of health, you will be successful. And people from the outside are going to look, and they may think it looks like this line because that's all they see. They might see your awesome before and now picture where it looks like miraculously you dropped 70 pounds. Oh my gosh, you must have just gone to bed and woke up one day with amazing willpower and the ability to, like, did you change your genetics? What happened? They don't see the process along the way. So what people may think and what you might be sick, because honestly, from my perspective in just the medical world and my perspective gaining and losing 45 pounds over and over again in my life, actually it was the same 10, like over, I knew that it wasn't a straight line, but I didn't know how to get from point A to point B. I didn't have the structure. I certainly had the desire, but what needed to shift was my perspective, so that it wasn't something I was doing for a minute or I was killing myself at the gym to try to get to the finish line. It became something I was willing to embrace and learn along the way. So this is just a picture of what success may look like from the outside, and then what it really looks like. And if you've been on your journey for a while and you have made progress in your health, in all areas, go ahead and type in the chat whether you think this is true or not, right? Like, it's not a straight line. It's not an overnight thing. It is a process. It's a journey, and we get to choose the journey every day. So sometimes we can get lost in the little curly cues and the downs and the ups and the dips, okay? But if you keep your eye on the long-term goal of, it's those dips, those oopsies, those whatever, that's where we learn. That's what makes the journey so powerful. That's what makes this journey a lifestyle. Because, we're all trying to get through this thing called life. Well, guess what? We're living it right now. And so just look at your journey, whether you're just barely starting or whether you're somewhere in the middle of the squiggly lines, and just keep your perspective on where you're going, and stay in your lane. That's what Ashley was talking about last week. Stay in your lane, stay focused on where you're going, what you're creating in your life, because we can get distracted by the other things around us, the noise, the chatter, what society tells us. Brad's going to speak on this a little bit later, so I'm not going to steal his thunder, but he's going to give you some nuggets of just real good insight here. But success is not what it appears to be from the outside. This is just basically, there's no overnight successes. This is actually how goals are achieved. So how we think they're achieved might be like getting on our bike and riding to the finish line. Okay, so that would be if everybody chose their nutrition plan, stuck to it 100%, had no life happen in the way, and was able to get to their goal, which some people do this, by the way, which is great, but more often than not, you choose your plan, you set your structure, you work with your coach, you dive into the community, and you're gonna have some rocks to climb over. You might have some ladders to climb. You might even get a boat. Like that bottom picture is really how goals and how success is actually achieved. And at every point along the way, you learn new skill sets to rock this thing called life. I just love this because I don't know about you, but I've been that horse before. Brad's my health coach, so he may know a thing or two about what I have had in my mind as concepts or holding me back. But I would just ask you, sometimes the things that hold us back are a lot in our head. And this can transcend anything in our lives, but we're talking about our health journeys and we're talking about having perspective. So, and that is one thing that is so powerful, because with this community, you have someone who's walked this path before you, with you. We're side by side. They may have navigated that boulder in your path, and they may be able to give you some perspective of the other side. So thank you, Brad, for being my health coach and always being there for me so I could bounce off some perspective with you. But I have untied myself from several of those little plastic chairs along the way. And that's what 7 years later health looks like. I know I'm going to probably tie myself to some more plastic chairs in the future. I'm just going to be able to recognize it, reach out, dive into the community, dive into our tools that we have at our fingertips, and figure it out and untie myself. So I don't know if that resonates with you, but you may find some plastic chairs sitting in your way in the future. And it's a horse. There was one that had a donkey, and I was like, no, I'm not going there. Here's the other picture that I just wanted to talk to you. Just touch on a little bit, Brad, because this is one huge thing that has just totally transformed how I view health. And it is that, we are on this journey and there's this crazy path to get there, and that's called life. But we all have seasons. We have seasons in our health, okay? We have seasons in life, but you may be in a season right now where you're ready to conquer that mountain and you are climbing to the top, and you're excited about the view from the top. I've been there and am there right now with this focus group. It gives us a reason to, define our mountain, get our game plan, and go all out to tackle it. But guess what? When you get to the top of that mountain, you're going to get to the top of a peak, and it's going to give you a peek at what else is out there. Guess what? There's more than what your current intentions are, and that is a good thing. Because what that means is you're going to rock where you're going, and then you're going to see something awesome, and you're going to redefine your intentions. You're going to set your eyesight on another mountain, and you're going to be equipped with the tools and the climbing partners to get there. So Brad, I just wanted to kind of leave this right here, and I'm going to toss it over to Brad for a minute, because he's going to bring it back to literally, we're going to switch gears a little bit on the tools and the tangible things that you actually have in your hands, and how we're going to help you with the structure to scale your mountain peak so that you can have a peek at what you want next. Right? And I'm just so excited because I see so many people on the screen, and like Christy, always setting another event, always has another event, right? Getting excited, gonna, run, walk, jog, a half marathon, really, she got her peak, and using this focus group to lay out the action plans to get there. And then there'll be another something behind it, because we always get to create our intentions. So anyways, I'm just so excited. Brad, I'm going to toss it over to you and let you bring us into talking a little bit about the tangible stuff. And you might even have a secret weapon you're going to share with us.
I do, Dawn. And actually, we Ashley really knocked it out of the park last week with her, just the real talk she brought to it. And by the way, kudos. I would say amen to like a million things you said there, because it's so true. This is where, I literally wish we could just like reiterate what you just said and read the chat, because the chat is blowing up with takeaways that people are realizing here. And just to get really real with you, I have some nerdy information, because I find that knowing how things work when you are moving along really assists this. And it just goes back to the basics. But really, Dawn, a lot of what you were talking about is anchoring your journey, deciding and really anchoring in those facts that you just shared, because that is truth. And everyone here on this line that's been doing this for a while knows exactly what you're talking about. the thing is that we have to learn how to navigate that. And I think the big thing that we want to ask you as we kind of go into today's, and this might be the question to kind of sit with, and if you have anything vibrant that you want to share in the chat, go ahead and share it. But how is health becoming a part of your lifestyle? Many of you guys probably, we walk around unconsciously and very lack of mindfulness. And Mike Scott hit it on the nail, or hit the nail on the head in our first week in preparation about just mindfulness in our journey of becoming bulletproof. And so I'm going to ask that question to you guys again tonight. How are you making health a part of your lifestyle? Because that is what today is all about. And that's what Dawn just literally shared about right there. Because there's so many things on this, Dawn, that we could talk about. But seriously, just because things have been a part of the way you've done things for the whole life, whether you're 20 or 120, doesn't mean that's the way that they need to keep on going if you're going to build a healthy lifestyle. That is probably the biggest hang up that a lot of people make, is they're like, okay, they don't embrace or anchor themselves in a process that's going to build a healthy lifestyle. Just because it's the way it's always been doesn't mean to be that's the way it's going to be going forward, or tomorrow, or the next day. You can create whatever it is you want to create. So, I think we wanted to ask people, Dawn, is like, what have people on here on the line? Like, I'm looking here and I can see across the board here. I can see Nicole that's lost 80 pounds. I can see Bev with a huge smile. I forget how much you've lost. You've lost so much. And I see Susie on the line that's totally radically changed her health and her healthy mind. What is it that you have let go of in your health, or that you have embraced in your health to make a change in your shift in a lifestyle? You may need to ask yourself that question, or you may need to realize that you've done those things and build on top of those things. So, Dawn, anything you want to say to that as I pull up my slide real quick?
Yeah, well, and I was just going to put it in the chat, but I'll just go ahead and say it so that if anyone catches the recording, they can hear it. I let go of the need or the illusion that I needed to be perfect. I let go of this idea that if I didn't do something that in my mind I was supposed to do, then I might as well not do it at all. So what I've been able to embrace is doing my best and always striving to make it a little bit better each day. So I love one of our striving for progress, not perfection. That hits me hard because I've always been a do it right or go home thing. And this is not about that. This is about navigating life to the best of our abilities with all the tools we have in our hands, but also we got to open our eyes to the tools we have in our hands. This book, this community, our structured plans that just make it so simple for us to move forward. Stop, challenge, choose. Yes, Kim nailed it right there. Like adding that in really helps. So, Brad, I realized there's a lot of things I had to let go of to grab onto something even better. And a lot of it was just my own mindset.
Yeah, this is all so key. And honestly, that's the reason why we did it in this order, is it builds on bulletproof mindset. And I want to share something else. Don, you and I didn't talk about setting this, but there's a book called The Oz Principle. It's truly amazing. Some of the teachings of that have shaped our community and how Dr. A teaches us. And there's literally a line. And if you guys can envision this as you're developing a lifestyle, a bulletproof mindset, because it's all one and the same, is there is the line. And sometimes we fall below the line. And that's saying like, oh, I'm having a hard time, or I'm struggling, or blaming, or all those things. Those are the things, the way that most of the people live in the United States. Then there is becoming above the line, taking ownership, embracing obstacles, taking the high road on things, embracing things that may be difficult, but taking ownership of those things. So if you guys remember, another thing from this call is live in a lifestyle and embracing a bulletproof mindset. Play above the line. And if we can become a standard in your life, you'll recognize when you fall below the line and start making excuses or beating yourself up or blaming other people. Really, it all comes to being above the line. That's what building a lifestyle builds around, and what a healthy bulletproof mindset builds around. So I was going to switch up the slides a little bit here and kind of switch gears as we kind of move into this real quick, because part of also everything that you built on, Don, I think we could end the call literally on what you just said. It was so incredible, but it's also in understanding. And so I want to take the building a lifestyle into just the nutrition component for just a moment here. The basics of living a healthy lifestyle is eating 6 times a day and drinking a healthy amount of water. So we aim for 100 ounces on program. You can also say that it's half your body weight in ounces of water a day, but that is the key to living a healthy lifestyle. We teach that. And so this structure is the layout for optimal health. And that's what makes a big difference. Our bodies operate better in that format. We have plans that revolve around that format, whether you're trying to maintain or lose weight or whatever it is, or optimize your health. Either way, it's all going to revolve around eating 6 times a day. That is our optimal health fueling style. And one cool thing about this, Dawn, is that in building and mastering a lifestyle, that is your structure. That is your layout. So many people, and we'll go into this a little bit as we finish up, and we want to be cognizant of time tonight. So many people view it as, I got to be on plan to lose weight. That is such an exhausting way of looking at it, and you are not building a lifestyle that way. The way to look at it is not eating. I'm embracing and practicing and trying to live a healthy lifestyle, eating 6 times a day, and I choose which plan works for me based on my mindfulness of what I want to create. Boom. It's a total mind shift. And that is the difference in what real health looks like in building a healthy lifestyle. I lost 35 pounds on this program. And during that time of losing 35 pounds, I built myself a lifestyle so that I can maintain it and keep going and build that over 8 years so I didn't go backwards. That's what I did. I didn't do it to lose 35 pounds. Well, actually, I only tried to lose 15 pounds, but then I kept on going. But that is the structure of the health component. And remembering that there's other components. Dawn, you mentioned structure and embracing structure. This is another beauty of your structure, because when you embrace the structure, now you've actually built a foundation. You can build on other things like healthy mindset, playing above the line, taking ownership of your journey, being kind to yourself, realizing it's not about perfection, it's about progress. That's the foundation that builds those things. And that's how this all plays into it. A lot of people miss it. Oh my gosh, I thought I was just trying to lose weight. They miss that this was the building blocks of a healthy lifestyle. That's how, like Christy, for some reason, Christy's always on my screen. Christy, that's how you got to where you are today. You didn't eat 6 times a day and you drink your water to lose weight. You did. It was part of your mindfulness goal, but you were building a lifestyle. That's the switch that a lot of people don't make. And I wanted to explain a little bit about this because our program is so sound in this. This is the way that most people live their life because of how we eat and what's just the garbage that's out there in society. And believe me, even if you have good intentions, you'll fall into these traps because they're out there. People bring donuts into work. You get hungry, you come back from the kids' baseball game, you choose the fast food. It's just there. Most of the time, we've heard 3 square meals a day, and most of those things are not nutritionally balanced. And what happens when that takes place is your insulin levels. That's what this is a graph of, and this is from Dr. Ace, Habits of Health. Again, this is the information that goes in your brain to go alongside with building your healthy lifestyle while you're on your eating nutrition plan. But you can see here the blue spike. That's what your blood sugar levels do when you take in sugar like that. And the red little dotted line is what your body produces in insulin to break that down. The higher the spikes, the further in between, the more your body produces. And that's honestly how diabetes is produced, because diabetes isn't a disease. Well, I mean, it is. But really what it is it's you wearing out your insulin pump. You've worn it out to the point it doesn't operate properly anymore. So this is how we wear our insulin pump. This is how we get moody. This is how we gain weight. This is how we have hunger cravings that we don't even know who we are. We have to eat the entire fridge. This is what happens in normal everyday society. And that's why we combat it with a healthy eating routine, the way we teach it, eating 6 times a day. Because when you eat 6 times a day, the way our body was meant to, your metabolism's higher. You eat less sugar. It's balanced out. It's given to the way your body wants to take it in. So you have less spikes. Your body's more balanced. This is the way that you can lose weight, maintain it, or excel to your next feat in your health level. So a lot of people don't understand that when they're doing this, that you're practicing this change in your lifestyle and how you're eating. And that's what makes the difference. That's what makes the difference in all of this. People just think the big difference is, and I see this all the time. And honestly, I see it all the time because I saw it myself. I thought I was just doing this to lose some weight. When I realized I was doing this and I understood these pieces, that's what made the difference to me long term. So Dawn, do you want to say anything about that? Just like understanding kind of how all that works. Oops, sorry, I can't unmute you. There you go. You're good.
Sorry, I was like, I muted myself, but I can't help. I've muted and I can't unmute. No, Brad, just that you nailed it. And I'm going to give you an honorary RN because you did the best job describing what happens when your sugars go up and down, because our emotions and our ability to make rational decisions go up and down with them. And that's the way people live out there. That's what it looked like. I think a little bit later, you're going to share kind of what it looks like for you and Ashley, but seriously, without this structure, without this philosophy of wellness, we would react just the way we did before. The real change, the real light switch in perspective is that we have a structure that allows us to fuel our bodies in a way that gets rid of all those spikes and helps us really create health, and not only in our physical health, but in all other areas, because we can then focus on it.
Yep. And so in building a lifestyle, your lifestyle that you're building, very for the fundamental on the nutrition side, is eating 6 times a day. You're not trying to lose weight. That may be your conscious goal of why you're intentionally eating and structuring your life the way you're structuring, but the anchor is eating 6 times a day. That is what we're doing here. And this is why. And I don't know about you guys, but I do better when I understand why I need to do something instead of just telling me why I need to do something. And the cool thing about this, guys, and this is why we want to talk about this and building a lifestyle. So many people get caught in the trap of like being so proud of the way that they eat healthy. We all know that one person that's super healthy, but I'll give you one little secret here. Everyone who's successful in their health has a program, has a support, has a layout. And this is the program. And this is why we teach that. And this is why we're going through this, is so people can understand at a deeper level what the misses are that generally happen. Like, Don, do you want to comment on that? Because like, you know it from the medical side on that, what you see with that. Anyone that has anything, this is the program. I kind of view this as like the secret inside sauce to living a secret lifestyle, or healthy lifestyle, because it makes it easy for you to do this on the go, giving you everything you need. It's like your concierge buddy that makes it easy for you to do this. And everyone that you see making progress in health, it's not because they're super good. It's not because they're super disciplined. Maybe some people more than others, but everyone has a program that they register to and they subscribe to.
Absolutely. And I used to look at people and say, oh my gosh, well, it must be their genetics, or it must be it must be their willpower. Guess what? They have a structured plan that they have embraced, and it has become part of their life. So if anybody wants to look back at this is chapter 6 in Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health book. We're not making this up. We are taking it straight from the tools that all of you have in your fingertips, and along with you on this journey. So no, Brad, you absolutely nailed it. And the great thing is that what the thing is a lot of people, and you'll probably say this, but a lot of people just don't stick with anything long enough to have it actually work and to have it actually become a sustainable part of their life. So this is something that is structured, that is simple, that not only is the foundation of a healthy lifestyle while you're in the weight loss phase, but guess what? Brad, your wife is following the Nursing Moms Plan because she's pregnant right now. It is still the structure of her plan to create health in that phase of her life. So when I showed the video of the peak and, the person sitting at the top of the mountain, looking at that next peak, the seasons of our life still structured around that secret weapon of eating every 2 to 3 hours and having what we need just at an arm's length.
Yeah, Don, and you mentioned something there, and I think you were mentioning like a video that we did in our support page. Like I did a live when we came back. And so what I want to share with you as we kind of wrap it up, tying this all together, is Ashley and I were at the store the other day, and I just kind of like brought it up that I wanted to do a video. And this is the thing that I think would tie it all together. This is what makes all the intersections come together right here. And this is where people miss on building a lifestyle utilizing our program. Now that they know that everyone has a program and this is the program making it work for themselves, is one, our program is universal for everyone. Like for the information that you're bringing up here is Ashley is a foodie. She loves food. So part of her deal is making food. She loves making it, like she loves making it from scratch. I strongly dislike making food. My goal in making food is that it's quick, easy, that it fuels my body, and that I can get out and go do other things. So completely different things, but we can embrace that as part of our program. So making your program your own is really one thing that ties it all together. Two is we were at the store and we were trying to get a bulletproof mindset. We just got back from Hawaii. There's literally there's pretty much not a drop of food in our house except for our fuelings. And that is part of a healthy lifestyle. Like we came back and we sustained on those like throughout the day until we got to the store and meal prepped and got our stuff ready for the day. The beautiful part about tying together our program is that you have meals coming to your house every single month. And that's how you use your B-Slim account to have things come into your house. Like how great is it that our program, on top of everything, like literally the exclamation point and how this all works on what you just said, is that you have meals that come into your house every single month. I always like to tell people like, oh, Brad, you lost 35 pounds. Like, oh, it's so amazing. I don't do it because I have great willpower. I do it because I have a program that supports me in that. And part of my anchor in what I do is I get a 7-day and a 4-day notice every single month to update my healthy environment with meals that come in that are all natural, high in protein, balanced carbohydrates and sugars, and all the vitamins and nutrients that I need. I even went into the video, like literally, I don't need to go spend money on supplements that my doctor recommends to me. It was $119. I don't need to spend on supplements because it's all in the food that I eat that comes to my house. Because I got to tell you, I would go make bad decisions if that wasn't the case. But going out and shopping, and the beautiful part of how it all ties together is those meals are less than all the other meals on the market. Like I grabbed a I don't want to throw anything on the bus because I feel like there's a lot of great options, but I grabbed a Quest bar. Quest bars are notoriously like good actual fuelings, and they actually would work out great in a maintenance phase of our program, but they don't sustain a fat burning stage. They don't have the vitamins and minerals that we have. They don't have probiotics. They're high in protein, which is great, but they are more expensive than our meals. You have to go shopping to get them. They don't have quite the flavors. They don't remind you to come to go get them. And that's kind of how it all ties together. People realize they think they're just going to do this for a short period of time, and I get it, because that's how I was going to start this. But ultimately, if you're going to make a shift long term, this is the program you want to subscribe to for life. It's less than what you would normally spend on food. It's going to change the way that your budget is basically broken up. And then the other thing about it is what I was talking about in my video is actually not only need to go to the store. Like, I'd say more like it's like 3, maybe 2 times a month if we're really busy, or 4 on the max. We're not shopping 2 times a week anymore. These are all hours that we save getting to do more things of living life because the meals come into our house. And that's how it ties all together. And there's just another piece of this, Dawn, that I feel is really key in this and in living a lifestyle, is that where you spend your time, where you spend your money, where you spend your conscious energy is what affects your life. And that's another reason why, like, I would bring my Be Slim into my house every month, because I'm investing in my health. So not only is it a budget saver for me when I encompass all of these things, but it really is the anchor of me building a healthy lifestyle, along with this community, along with this book, along with the support that I get. So I think that's what you were kind of referencing. And a lot of people don't see how that all interties together. Is there anything that you wanted to comment on that? Because that was kind of an epiphany for me at that deal. Like, sometimes we don't realize, feel like sometimes.
No, Brad.
I'm sorry, I'll just let you talk. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I was just going to say, nailed it, mic drop. Exactly. It is about creating a structure and embracing that structure that's around you. Because I remember, Brad, I've heard you tell this story before. You were going to lose your weight and celebrate with a pizza. Do you remember that? Not that you literally, but along the way, and I saw it in the chat, I was a foodie, but realized I really loved healthy food. It's about creating that structure and then shifting our mindset to no need to have a pizza now. Well, yes, you can. You can have a lean and green, amazing cauliflower pizza, which is delicious. It's shifting perspective on what you choose to put in your life and choosing to have healthy food within an arm's reach, always in your house. That is definitely a habit of health long-term. Definitely, if someone wants to know what it looks like to create a sustainable, healthy life, set yourself up so you have a structure of always having healthy, nutritious things right around you. And your comparison when you were at the grocery store and you were comparing, it is like a no-brainer. I was just seeing the chat blow up. People have healthy, nutritious fuelings in their purse, in their desk drawer, in their car, everywhere. And you know what? That's really smart. And 7 years later, I do that to this day because that's a structure that sustains a healthy life I want to live.
And I think what really adds to that, and we're really tying together of mastery of a lifestyle, is that Ashley pointed out last week in the Bulletproof Mindset. Search for people that you respect in areas of your life and study everything about them that makes them successful. And I will tell you, any amazing story that you see here on this line, those are the key things. They have tied all those pieces together. That's the program that they subscribe to, and that's their system for creating a healthy life. So when you're mastering a lifestyle, embracing all parties, because many people see the misses, because I hate to say other names, so that's not really normally how I do, but we've all seen the Nutrisystems out there. We've all seen the Jenny Craig's, and we think that it just is in that category. Really, it's something completely different. And it's the viewpoint of how you view this that will honestly make the change for you over time. So really coming back to it, as you're building a lifestyle, it's about what works for you and embracing a structure that supports you in accomplishing that. So, Dawn, I think as we wrapped up today, literally, I wish we could just read the chat, because I think so many people are blowing in with their takeaways or what's made a shift for them over time. But would you take us home with just as we kind of wrap this up, I think we talked about sharing 3 common misses. I think I would want to know I would love to know what people's biggest mistakes are so I don't make those. And I would like to know what to do. So we kind of compiled 3 top misses when people are building a healthy lifestyle. And then we compile 3 things that are part of everyone that creates a healthy lifestyle. So you want to go over that tonight with people? And I did put that quote in there that is, stability is a skill, just like any other. that's anchored in a process. Like that's really, most people don't stick around long enough to prove that something works. That's the problem with health. That's the problem with a lot of things in our life. So these are the 3 things that we came up with that are really anchored in someone's health journey that's following Dr. Ray's Habits of Health, that's living this program.
Yeah. Well, and Brad, we can't always see our blind spots, right? And sometimes we're not willing to open our eyes to them, but having the perspective vantage point that we have, we did come up with 3 things because I would want to know. And so one of them is a bulletproof mindset, which means if this is something we see people who maybe don't reach their goals or they give up, they don't stick around, it is that they don't have their intentions set. They don't have a clear picture of where they want to go. Okay. And then that mindfulness of it's a daily choice and having that full perspective of that it's a healthy lifestyle versus I'm going to take a whole bunch of things out of my life and really work hard for a season. And then, I can't wait till it's over. It's the perspective, right? So that is number 1. The miss is the perspective of that it's a journey and that it's all about deciding where you want to go and being mindful of that journey. And then it's the results versus becoming. So when we focus on what we're doing, the what we're gaining. So if you are focused on the scale moving this week, because I'm just going to take it back to maybe where you might be sitting right now. The scale didn't move more than 0.2 pounds this week, and I followed everything to a T. What am I doing wrong? Right? I don't know. Has anyone ever, blink your eyes, if you've ever talked to yourself in that way? That's becoming results focused versus that's being results focused versus the spirit of becoming healthy, looking at the things and the structure that you're putting into your life, and that you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, you're balancing your blood sugars. And you know what? The scale is relationship to gravity. Inches, all of those things they're tangible, but really you are becoming healthy. And then being anchored in the fact that we are a work in progress. So it's not perfection. It is really a lifestyle we're creating. Brad, anything you wanted to add there?
No, and I think everyone can pretty much see that, oh my gosh, because I know if I would have looked at that earlier on, oh my gosh, that is the difference right there. The mindfulness, the intentions. We went over all this last week, and this was huge. And this is what ties it all together.
The other thing, Brad, the 2 things that we were kind of talking about too was having a solid routine. Okay. So that's all about becoming, right? And really having a solid routine that works for you. And then also when you maybe get a little sidetracked by the things going on in life, do you run away and hide? Do you pull back and pull out of the community and pull away from support? Or do you lean in and lean into the journey, like that slide of there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way? Those are our learning opportunities. That's where we literally tie this into our lives. So those 2 things I just forgot. And then Brad, why don't you finish this one, some top 3 pieces that someone who's creating this in their lives actually embodies and has embraced.
So I think the other slide that you went over, I think that makes sense. I think anyone can look at that and be like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. So what someone does do, or that are involved in people that are making a difference, is they embrace a structure. And what's cool about this is it's not a forced structure. It's building a plan that works for you. A person that's smart enough to embrace structure is someone that's embracing their own life. So embrace structure. It only supports where you want to go. Like you said, Dawn, last week, the wing it plan does not work. So people embrace structure. They embrace a process. 2, perspective on building a lifestyle. That is top thing. Honestly, my clients and the people I work with and here on this line, and Dawn, you yourself, is when you're focused on building a lifestyle, it just gets abundantly more fun. And I think we all want to have more fun in building a lifestyle, as opposed to oh my gosh, I gotta do this. So it's all same thing that we're doing, just one's a perspective. Ashley covered it last week. It was all people were doing the same thing. A couple people were exhausted by it. A couple people were invigorated. It's all in how you look at it and if you're building a lifestyle. And the last thing was the opposite of what we talked in the last one. It's stay power. It's remaining anchored. Are you willing to stay with something long enough to realize that there are going to be bumps and bruises along the way? But most of the times, if you're looking at it the right way, and if you look at it as number 2, you're going to learn from those things. You're going to enjoy those things. There's going to be less beat ups. You're going to look more at what you do well rather than what you don't do well. And that is progress versus perfection. And that is the difference in someone that builds a healthy lifestyle. It's all based around eating 6 times a day. It's all based on building a mindfulness around what you want. It's going to be your future. You get to choose it. But the difference is you can either choose to have a support in it, or you can try to wing it and make it difficult. And this is the reason why you guys, we can all step back and be like, this is what's wrong with America. And this is why this community succeeds. This is why you can look around the call. I literally wish we could just do a call with like all the transformations in here, because they are literally incredible, Don. Like literally they would be the poster child for any weight loss company. They wish they had this. And actually Nicole Castaneda, somehow someone stole her before and after and claimed it was some kind of magic pill. Like that's the kind of stuff that we do with this. And it's no secret gimmick. It's actually just health and nutrition. So Don, we wrap up with this, building a healthy lifestyle. This week, that's what we're focused on. And that's what we're doing with our journey. We'll talk more about this on Thursday. Bring your questions. Some of the other questions was people had questions on how to navigate weekends. We'll cover that a little bit more, but that's what the Thursday talk's going to be all about. So if you like this, or you want to bring questions as you practice the mindfulness of this, bring them Thursday. We want to chat with you about them and share more thoughts on this. But Don, anything you want to say as we wrap up? I think the chat speaks for itself in the takeaways of this, but I'll let you take us home on this tonight.
Yeah, awesome, Brad. You know what? Just one last thing, and that would be embrace the structure, use the tools, and be bold about it. Brad, I know I was excited. I shared something with you this morning, have a person who's starting, and today is her day one. So if I could just leave one thing with you. She was so excited, and she is embracing this journey so much. She put a post on her main Facebook wall and said, I'm so excited. I'm getting started. Thank you, Dawn, for just being part of my journey. To all of my enablers, please be patient with me over the next season because I'm creating some amazing things in my health. Okay, do you think that she's going to go backwards in her health? Wow. So if I could just leave you with one last tip is, I'm going to share my screen here because this is just an image that I think is, Brad, I wanted to pull up the picture of the beach because I got to leave that. We got to end with that. There we go. Hang on just a second. Let me pull this up. It was on. All right. Right here.
Oh, could you not see that on my screen?
No. Was it on there?
Yeah, it should have been. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. The best project that you could ever work on is you. So why not be bold? Go out and let the world know. Do your friends know? Have you ever been tempted? Have you ever gone out with friends or with family and they unknowingly sabotaged you? They didn't know. They probably didn't mean to. But do they know that you're working on yourself and that you're becoming the best version of you? Because you really are the best project you could ever work on. So I would just challenge you and say, be bold. Just like my friend Jen, who's just about ready to start her journey. Wow, she was bold, but she put it out there and she kind of untied herself from that plastic chair and she is just going for it. And that is how to create that structure around you. Because Brad, I started because I thought I needed to lose 30 pounds. I ended up losing 45, but I was so in love with the process. I couldn't help but share it with others. And that has been the most pivotal thing, is just being around people and helping people and walking with people getting healthy. So I would say as we leave tonight and you head into this week number 2, where we are really looking at creating a healthy lifestyle, think of yourself as the most important thing you could ever pour time and energy and investment in, and then let the world know, because they will support you in more ways than you know. That's what I've got, Brad. And I think that this is a great topic, and I'm excited that we're going to expand upon it a little bit more Thursday on really how to be bulletproof and rock the weekends and really set that structure up. But you guys, have an amazing week. Go out, be bold, embrace the structure and the tools that you have at your fingertips, and keep in mind where you're going, because that perspective that we choose to have every day is what's going to serve us for a lifetime of health. That's it, guys. Go ahead and pop in the chat. We can go ahead and we'll stop the recording.